Pick a window. This is the Defenestrate Media Network.
The Left Show is not intended for youngsters. It's not intended for the sensitive. It's certainly not intended for right-wingers. Use your own discretion. Awful swearing.
You know who the best-looking person sitting up there was? Who was it with the cowboy hat?
No, J.M. Bell.
J.M. Bell. I don't know who that is.
He hosts a podcast.
Well, he was good-looking.
You are listening to the world's greatest political podcast, The Left Show. Joining me this week, J.C. Carter.
Welcome to the Resistance.
And me. It's us.
It's us.
I have
the Just Us League.
There will be dick jokes.
Yes.
Because there always are. How are you, sir? You were down at the Scottish Festival this weekend.
I was at the Payson Scottish Festival. Oh, my microphone's in the way. Here, for the video people.
There you go.
I was at the Payson Scottish Festival this last weekend. It was great. I mean, it's a free festival, so a fuck ton of people walked through. We did not take our Sword in the Stone display because we knew we would just be mobbed by kids all day long.
Yeah.
And
fuck those kids.
They did a game for the different clans. They'd give you a little picture of a little cartoon picture of a Highland coup. And you put it on your table, and then somebody from another clan was supposed to come into your tent, ask you questions, and somehow steal your coup. And then if they stole it, they'd leave a token behind, and they'd go back and do it. But people started sending their kids, and their kids were a little too rambunctious. Very successful cattle reavers, but not exactly fun for any of us.
No, you tell a child to go steal, they're going to lose their fucking minds.
Yeah. And honestly, it disrupted two or three of us because we're trying to, talk about the client. We're trying to do our presentations and stuff. And these kids are just running around being little shits. And it's like, okay, we can't do this anymore. So the last time they took my coup, I said, they can have it. I'm done playing. When I turned in my card at the end of the day, I said, you can get my coup back from the McNabs because I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of going and getting it back from them after what their kids put me through.
See, this is how clan wars start.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, every time somebody will come up and they'll say, "Hey, what was it about the Scots? Did the different clans get along?" I said, "For the most part, we all got along until you took one of our cows. If you took our cattle, then there was a problem. That was all there was to it."
Or you were English.
And if you're English, yeah.
Well, let's
no problem there.
Let's do that for a minute.
Yes.
The World Cup, folks, is almost over. I swear to God, we'll stop talking about this shit soon.
Just 4 games? 3 games left.
Mm-hmm.
No, 4 games left.
No,
yeah.
it is semifinals. So
right. So it'll be
4 teams.
So 4 teams, they'll play the semifinals.
2 games.
The 2 winners play to determine first and second, and the 2 losers play to determine third and fourth. So 4 games.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Ooh, I'm very excited.
Yeah, you got 4 matches left. It's going to be awesome.
I didn't do my math on that.
And England's got to take on the powerhouse. They got to take on Argentina.
They can do it.
Messi.
Argentina
I think they could.
Really sloppy the other day, except for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes, they were an amazing fucking football team. But the rest of that game, it was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
No,
England held their own against one of the powerhouses with Norway because Norway was a favorite for us to win it, and England held their own.
Well, like I said,
And VAR
it's
saved
kind of
Norway's
like
and saved their ass. Yeah.
well, sure, but I mean, for me, it was basically like an all-star game for the Premier League.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and it's like half of the goddamn English team seems to be Arsenal, and then there were 2 Arsenal players in Norway's team, and I mean, just the same reason I'm watching Belgium with interest is because Trossard's on there, but they just traded Trossard for a shitload of money, and it's like, wait, he's really good. No, I want to talk about the USA game because we haven't talked about that yet.
Oh yeah.
I mean this in the kindest, sweetest way possible because I loved this team and I loved watching them play those first few games.
Yeah.
But I am glad they lost.
Yeah.
Because if they hadn't, there would be an asterisk on every game they won thereafter.
Absolutely.
That the United States cheated, that they had their president call Infantino and get the suspension and look, it's hard to get a red card. It sucks. But I don't care that he hit the ball funny. He raked into that guy's leg with his spikes up, and that's a red fucking card.
That's right. Who got a red card in the other on the other match? In another match where they were doing a slide tackle, and it was like, why is your leg up so high?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cleats out.
Yep.
You know, to me that was more intentional than the American one. The American one just was a stomp that was took the guy out of the game, and I get it. I didn't think it deserved a red card based on intent, but by their letter of the rule, absolutely red card should have been issued. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spiked him in the leg. You're not supposed to do that. You don't step on feet. You don't kick feet. You don't. I mean, even Harry Kane got a weird ass foul.
Yeah.
Because he and the other guy kicked at the same time, and he was just a little slower, and his ankle bumped the other guy's calf. Not very hard at all, and it was still a penalty shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, look, sometimes getting bit in the ass by the rules sucks, but what you don't do is have the president of the United States call the other most corrupt leader, of a nonprofit.
Exactly.
And
I mean, did the American team organization have the president do that, or did Trump do it on his own?
I think Trump did it on his own.
Yeah, but the problem is that taints the team as
Absolutely
well.
Tainted.
Yeah.
Dirty, slimy, gross, corrupt. It basically turned the whole team into statues in the reflecting pool.
Yeah, it really did.
Now there have been a lot of people that were, well, we'll talk about it some more, but I'm still enjoying the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I really think had Trump just minded his own fucking business, that the guys would have won, because they weren't playing like they'd been playing. They were dispirited.
You could see it.
Yeah.
You could really see the dispirited moves, because they knew what a win might mean because they knew before any of us did what was going on. Clearly. There was no way to get that red card lifted. The IOC said, oh, no, we have this thing we're doing, or not IOC, the FIFA said, oh, no, this is a rule we can use. And I was like, okay, good. You agree that it was a non-intentional foul, and, maybe the red card wasn't necessary. And I could see that. But then when I found out, oh, no, Trump called him, I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, this is it. Though hats off to the winger. What was his name?
On the U.S. team?
Yeah.
Ballengone?
No, the other one. The one everybody kept talking about. He was out for a game.
Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic. Because he actually he did a kick into the back of a guy's heel, trying to win the ball. The guy didn't even budge when he got kicked too. But Pulisic wound up breaking his foot. He fractured his foot. And kept playing for a good chunk of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that a lot of the shade being thrown on Pulisic was unwarranted. It's the same as Declan Rice over on the English team. He's been playing with a pinched nerve in his Achilles tendon for months and months, and the coach made him sit this last game out. And that was hard for him. So
the only shade I had wasn't to Christian Pulisic. It was to the damn announcers who kept going on about him, like, "Oh, he's out of the match. Are they going to win?" I'm like, and they did win. Or it was, and then when he was in, they're like, "Oh, what a great time for Christian Pulisic," and I'm like, they kept just shutting him down. The other team would shut him down. I'm like, will you just shut up about Pulisic and just report the match? Get a little bored with your hero worship of Christian Pulisic when I'm like, they got his number because they fucking know he's that good.
Well, it's the same thing as watching an Argentina game and listening to him not shut the fuck up about Messi. And it's like,
they won't stop talking about Messi. And I'm like, he's the target. He's the decoy that they're going to use.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap that because we got a little bit more if the deep dives go along, but at least more soccer news, including some sad soccer news. But I don't want to bring the show down. In fact, I'd like to lift this up.
Let's lift this up.
I should have celebration all knocked up.
I know.
Anyway, Lindsey Graham's dead.
Woohoo!
He's dead like a day after releasing a video where he was like, Putin bad, Ukraine good, which is about the only thing I agreed with him about.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's dead of a mysterious, fast-moving illness. Sounds like poison to me. Russia?
Yeah, it really does. Lindsey Graham was a little warmonger. I mean, he's the one who was really excited when we went to war with Iran.
Oh, yeah.
Like full-on tent pulling his pants, kind of excited that we went to war with Iran. And I'm like, was Russia the next target for him? So, yeah. But yeah, no. They're not going to report that, but I think that could have happened. 40 years ago, if a senator had been poisoned by Russia, we'd be ready to launch nukes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hope we don't launch nukes over Lindsey.
No, I don't want us to launch nukes. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lindsey's not that complicated. He was a sniveling, spineless, brown-nosing, ass-kissing, pain in the neck who was most likely, sadly, closeted.
Deeply. Not even that deeply. I mean, it was so obvious to everyone but him. Apparently.
Yeah, he was one of the House managers for the Clinton impeachment. Came out the gate swinging against Donald Trump. Donald Trump took a shit on his best friend, John McCain.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump took a shit on Joe Biden, who at one point Lindsey Graham called one of the greatest Americans to have ever lived. And then much like Ted Cruz, could not wait to get chapped lips on that orange ass.
That's right.
And it's ugh. Oh, he's so gross.
He's been a major thorn in the side of America for far too long. So
now
I don't wish anyone dead, but if it was unlikely South Carolina would ever replace him, he would eventually drop dead in office. So here it's occurred. Yeah.
And you think that it was, he replaced Strom Thurmond.
Yeah.
So there's been a racist in that seat since the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah. Let's see who's next from South Carolina, right?
Well, it's going to be another racist because
absolutely.
They have to appoint someone to finish off his term.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know how long that takes or what the process is in South Carolina, but it'll be another racist. But it gives South Carolina time to, get Stephen Colbert to decide to run.
Yeah.
I'd vote for Stephen Colbert. I'd send a check to Stephen Colbert.
I would love to see Stephen Colbert run against somebody, anyone in the Senate. Now, it would have been fun with Lindsey Graham because he could have mocked him endlessly, but anyone, yeah.
Yeah. Now, more than 3 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
somebody at the Mitch McConnell residence called an ambulance, and the ambulance screamed into the house, lights and sirens, but when it left, no lights, no sirens. It just ambled away, says neighbors. No one has seen Mitch McConnell since. His wife has apparently left the country. She's the one with the power of attorney and can pull the plug if he is, in fact, as brain dead as the conspiracy theorists would have us believe. A Republican congressman publicly questioned on Thursday whether Mitch McConnell is even alive, underscoring growing concerns and calls for transparency as the Kentucky senator remains hospitalized nearly a month after being admitted for an undisclosed medical condition. Now, what it is, because I think he was up for re-election, wasn't he, this year?
Yeah, I think he'd said he wasn't going to run, but then he might have backed out of that. I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I know that there's a reason why, and it has to do with Kentucky law. There's a reason why they want him alive for as long as possible, because I think sometime in this next week or two, a boundary gets crossed where they can appoint someone to take over for him as opposed to having to have a special election. That was,
or was it that as long as he's, quote, alive, the governor in Kentucky is normally the one who replaces him, and right now it's a Democrat. Is their governor? Something like that, where they're worried that they're worried they won't get a Republican back in. Right.
Yeah.
Like, well, you've already got a libertarian. Can you live without a Republican?
Yeah. Democrat Mallory McMurrow. I don't know if you guys remember her or not. She gave a fiery speech in their legislature. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And it was really good, and it caught fire, and it got a good viral reaction.
She's had 2 or 3 viral speeches in the Michigan State Legislature that I've watched them. I'm like, oh my God, please run for federal office. I want to see you taking people down in the U.S. Senate.
Well, I got some bad news for you, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. She is leaving the closely watched primary. It'll now be a 2-person contest between U.S. Rep. Haley Stevens and former Wayne County Health Chief Abdul El Said. Her name will remain on the ballot, but she is done. And you know what? She was running a distant third.
Yeah.
I respect that she saw where she was at in this popularity contest, because El Said is wicked popular.
Backed by Bernie Sanders and AOC. He's, I don't know. I mean, he is wickedly popular. And Michigan is one of the few sort of bastions that accept you if you are Muslim, and they're like, no, you're just as capable as anybody else. So, yeah.
Been a rough few days, buddy. One last little piece of news. If you guys, just so much shit has happened, but remember on January 5th and then into January 6th, 7th, and 8th, when the news started to report it, someone had taken and laid pipe bombs at the headquarters of the political parties, especially the Democratic Party. And they still don't know who it was. They still haven't caught who it was. I still think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, but that's just me. Well, it turns out a judge says that the pardons for the January 6th rioters will not apply to any suspect in the DC pipe bomb case.
Mm-hmm.
That's good news. That's pretty good news. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll get back on the other side. We'll do deep dives and cover some other loose news.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
What if there was one place where comic book fans could get everything? News, reviews, debates, and deep dives every single week.
And not just we read one issue and Googled the rest kind of takes. We're talking 15 years deep, over 600 episodes.
That's right. The world's greatest comic book podcast has been breaking down Marvel, DC, indie books, movies, and fandom culture long before it was cool.
Whether you're a lifelong collector,
a casual fan who just saw the latest superhero movie,
or someone trying to figure out where to even start,
we have got you covered.
And we don't always agree, which makes it way more fun.
Yeah, way more fun.
New episodes every Tuesday.
Real opinions, real conversations.
Zero gatekeeping.
Check out the world's greatest comic book podcast at thecomicbookpodcast.com.
Hey kids, comics!
So this is the part where we talk for a minute so that I have time to load up the sounder.
Oh, that's a good plan.
Yeah, but we've been talking for like 10 minutes in between segments.
Yeah, we kind of ran out of things to talk about, and now we're actually on a time crunch. So it's like, oh shit,
gotta vamp.
Yeah,
all right,
vamp away.
Dives. It's time for the Left Show's Deep Dives. Every week, your intrepid hosts take a detailed look at important topics from across the globe that matter to you, whether you know it or not. Let's see how this goes. Best of luck, folks.
Okay, so here's the thing. Nigel Farage, over in the UK, he's a minister of parliament. He is a racist motherfucker. And he does stupid little things, like he went on about how, look, they've got soy milk, they've got oat milk, they've got this milk. I just want some milk for my tea. Regular milk from a cow. Can't I get that? And he does this kind of shit all the time. This is the kind of stunts he pulls as a politician, which now, of course, in the UK means that people will throw milk at him as he's walking into a building.
Yay.
Anyway, old Nige decided he was going to drop out of the race. He was going to resign as the MP for Clacton, which is where he's from, so he can stand to be the MP for Clacton. So he wants a re-election to prove that he deserves to be there, even though he doesn't have to do a re-election right now, but he's doing this as a stunt. And since all the main political parties know that it's an expensive farce that will make them pay through the nose to do it, nobody is challenging him. No political party is going to challenge him. They're just like, fine, Nigel, do your little stunt. Go marry yourself or whatever the fuck you want to do and come back, Except for one candidate. One candidate is determined to stand against Nigel Farage in Clacton. And that is Count Binface.
Yay, Count Binface.
Count Binface wears, he basically has this giant, a bin is a trash can in England. And so he wears this trash can helmet that kind of looks robotic, the way it's all built out on his head. And he dresses in kind of clothing that makes him look like a little bit like if Darth Vader met a garbage can. And his Clacton manifesto, he hasn't really put one out yet because he usually puts out a manifesto about how he's going to solve all the problems. But when the BBC asked him what he brings to the table, Binface just said, "I'm not Nigel Farage."
Perfect.
And I'm like, that's enough to get a win, buddy.
So
I am.
Slogan.
This is the kind of thing that I love about UK politics is these joke candidates run, and then when the MPs have to stand there in their county and give their vote, but they are surrounded by everybody that ran against them. And then they announce the winner, even though they already know who won the election. They announce the winner. And so there's always a Count Binface or some loony guy standing behind them making noise or holding up a sign for some cause that they believe in. And this is Count Binface now going into Clacton to run against Nigel Farage. And I hope he wins. I really do. Just because even though he's not any kind of politician, he's always been a joke. He could definitely do better than Nigel Farage. Plus, I want Nigel Farage to learn that even though they voted in a whole bunch of his racist reform guys at the lower levels in government, that he doesn't have the control he thinks he has over the country.
Yeah, he set himself up a vote of confidence, and
yeah,
I hope he loses it.
I really hope he loses it. Anyway, that's my thing.
That's a good thing. That was a very good thing. All right. I also have a thing. The Democratic Party needs to grow the fuck up. Seriously.
Yeah.
If you spend any time on political social media or cable news, you would think that the biggest threat to Democrats wasn't Republicans. You'd think it was other Democrats. Progressives are calling moderates sellouts, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Moderates are calling progressives unelectable, which is fine. Everyone seems convinced that the biggest battle of 2026 is the Democratic primary. And it's not. The biggest battle is going to be in November. So let's take a look at Michigan. What should be a conversation about protecting a crucial Senate seat became a proxy war over the future of the Democratic Party. Is the party going to move left? Is it going to stay in the center? Who's more electable? Who's more authentic? And these are all fair debates. They're all fair debates. But right now, what they're doing is they're consuming all the oxygen in the room. And here's the problem. Voters don't wake up wondering whether someone is an establishment corporate Democrat or a Democratic socialist. Okay? Normal people don't do that. They wake up wondering why groceries are still so expensive. They wonder if they're ever going to be able to buy a house. They wonder about health care. They worry about child care. They worry about retirement. They worry about whether their kids will have a better life than they had. These are the conversations that Democrats should be dominating. Instead, too often, the story becomes Democrats attacking Democrats. Every political party has factions. Republicans do. Right? I mean, well, not as much as they used to. Because healthy debate's part of democracy, but there's a difference between arguing over ideas and acting like the other side inside your own tent is the real enemy. It's completely fucking juvenile. Lefty politics shouldn't be a purity contest. They should be coalition building. Okay, so no Democrat is going to agree with every other Democrat 100% of the time. We're far too intellectually snobbish for that sort of thing to happen. And that's true whether you're talking about Bernie, AOC, Whitmer, Elizabeth Warren, or anybody else. The question isn't whether you agree on everything. The question is whether you agree enough to work together. Because the stakes could not be higher. The midterms aren't just about a handful of congressional seats. They're about who writes the federal budget, who oversees executive agencies, who chairs the investigative committees, who confirms judges, who decides what legislation even goes to the floor to get a fucking vote. And if Democrats spend the next 4 months proving they can't stand each other, all we're doing is the Republicans work for them. Have a debate. Argue policy. Fight for your vision. Support your issues. That's healthy. when the primary's over, shake hands, knock on doors, make phone calls, and remember who the bad guys are. Okay? Politics isn't about winning arguments on social media. It's about winning elections. I hate that I had to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016 because I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders. But guess what? Hillary Clinton was running against Donald fucking Trump and therefore needed to be voted for. And if Democrats lose sight of that sort of thing, they're going to continue to discover that ideological purity doesn't mean much when you're sitting in the fucking minority, not being able to affect change at all because you voted for Jill Stein. Thank you.
Very, very good. Let's see. A couple of things I thought of as you were talking. Republicans, what they do is they don't have disagreements once they're in. They just absorb the idea of whoever is winning. What wins an election suddenly becomes their platform. So when Mike Lee and the Teabaggers showed up back in 10?
It was earlier than that. I was on
Earlier.
KSL, so it was between 2008 and 2010.
Okay, so around 2008, 2009, when they showed up and they were the loudest noise in the room, the Republican Party suddenly went Tea Party. That's all it did. And when MAGA showed up and was the loudest noise in the room, and they saw elections being lost to MAGA politicians, then suddenly MAGA became the loudest voice in the room, and that became their that became their platform. And that's where Democrats need to see that, as much as I hate to quote him, it's the economy, stupid. It always has been, and it's always going to be. What's going to attract voters to Democrats is the economy. And if somebody like Ben McAdams wants to run on, I'll impeach Donald Trump, you're not going to get people's attention in this state. They're going to vote Republican because they're like, well, at least we know Republicans are okay because we've been bamboozled by that.
I doubt you're going to hear him say
70
that
years.
again between now and November.
What's that?
I doubt you'll hear him say that again between now and November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's in there talking about the economy and talking about very specific ways that he's going to protect people in this bad economy that we have, then he has a good chance. He has a great chance of moving forward as a winner. And in every one of these cases, I'm like, I don't care. I'm with you. I don't care if you're progressive, if you're a democratic socialist, if you're a moderate, if you're saying we need to fix this problem so that a working class American can actually live the American dream and not just be a slave or a serf to the billionaires, you got my vote. It's that simple. You got my vote. Because one of the things you did miss in what people are worried about right now, the more I hear from people, is layoffs. Particularly the older you get, as you well know, as I know, it is fucking hard the older you get to get another job when you've been laid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you lose your position because your employer's like, you're redundant, it's like getting that position back. I mean, another one of our former co-hosts, Melissa Merlot, just got laid off and is freaking out about finding a new job. And I'm like, yeah, this is the problem. The older we get, the more experienced we are, and therefore the more terrified they are because they can't rip us off and underpay us.
I would let them underpay me.
I know.
Yeah. That's where I am. Like I look
and that's the thing.
Paying $150,000 a year that are paying $60,000 a year, and I'm like, $60,000 a year would feel like generational wealth to me right now.
Who was it? Was it a Disney exec when the SAG-AFTRA was doing their strikes, and he said, "I'm not going to talk to these guys until they're losing their houses. I'm not going to negotiate until they're losing their houses." It's like, oh, fuck you. And that's just it. It's like we're at that point where we can't negotiate with our employer until we're desperate, you know. And then the employer holds all the cards against us. It's like if somebody said, "Well, we have decent health care," I'm I'll pay you to work here. Yeah.
Gianni Infantino
Hmm.
could face investigations over going through with whatever it was Trump said when he called to get the red card released. Dozens of European lawmakers are gathering support to launch an investigation in the European Parliament of FIFA boss Infantino over his involvement in the decision to permit U.S. striker Balogun to play despite an earlier red card. Infantino could also face a probe by the International Olympic Committee after a human rights group said Wednesday it was filing a complaint. Basically, we were talking about this at the beginning of the show. It's crooked. But Infantino gave the man the fucking FIFA Peace Prize, whatever the fuck that is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see who gets the second one.
Yeah.
You know? It's too bad Hitler
honestly,
Mussolini and Marx are all dead.
Yeah. Honestly, going after Infantino over this, he should be investigated for a whole lot of shit going on with FIFA. And we're going back to the last Men's World Cup, too, is where he should be investigated. So,
absolutely. Human rights violations galore.
I'm like, if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back to where he finally gets investigated, we sent Al Capone to prison for tax evasion. Let's get him on something, because this motherfucker needs to go. That's for sure.
Yep. Jaden Adams played for South Africa.
Yeah.
Just died.
What?
He was 25 years old. He started in the country's first two games at the World Cup. 9-time international, had only reposted a picture of himself and his girlfriend online less than a day before the news emerged. His partner put up a photo of the pair from Friday, and then now he's gone the day after, also just coincidentally, the day after his grandmother died. It was an apparent suicide. I hope I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm sad for what happened to him. I'm sad he felt like that was his only option. It breaks my heart, but was it hopefully, fuck, I don't even know how to say this. I just hope it wasn't online abuse that did it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, this wasn't the peak of your football career. You made the South African team at 25. That means in 4 years you're going to be back. They're going to keep you there unless they told you otherwise. You're not at the peak, man. That was it. So, but people deal with depression for other reasons. So,
yeah, we don't know what was in his head. We don't know what was going on. I just.
His grandmother dying.
South Africa did such a good job in the World Cup. They played so well.
But they got knocked out hard.
Oh,
and that could have messed with his psyche, plus his grandmother dying, plus a million things that we don't know what was going on in his life. That's just Yep.
Yeah. And then over in France and Paraguay, French striker Kylian Mbappe, man, that kid's good.
Oh,
so fucking good.
He is Golden Boot. He's my pick for Golden Boot. I know you like your guy, but oh my God.
I don't have a guy. You talking about Harry Kane?
Harry Kane, yeah.
Oh, Harry Kane plays in the European leagues. I don't even fucking know the guy.
Actually, I don't know does Harry have enough strikes to be?
He's up there. Yeah, he's up there.
I know he was close. I know it was between him and Messi, and I'm like, I'd like to see Mbappe get it instead of Messi, but
yeah. Anyway, Hey folks, Jeff here. So, you want to start a podcast? Or maybe you already did and it's just not going the way you thought it would. Well, here's the truth. It's not about the mic, it's not about the software, and it's definitely not just about posting episodes. It's about building a show that people care about. That's why I created the Defenestrate Media Podcast Academy. It isn't theory and it isn't fluff. It's a step-by-step breakdown of what actually works. Choosing a name, choosing a topic, building your structure, growing an audience, trying to turn your podcast into a brand, and maybe even a business. If you're serious about podcasting, this is a good place to start. And if you're just tired of guessing, this is how you stop. Check out the Defenestrate Media Podcast Academy and build something worth listening to. You can find more information at theleftshow.com.
In a world where MAGA is banning and burning books, it is a revolutionary act to read. It's Monday in America is a bold collection from The Left Show's J.M. Bell about politics, family, aging, and the uncomfortable truths we keep avoiding. No talking points, just real life in a divided country. Order your copy of It's Monday in America today for just $14.99 at mondayinamerica.com. If you're looking to feel hopeful or inspired, or if you're just frustrated and unsure about where we're headed, this book provides a unique look at the life of a Gen X liberal, the challenges and victories, and the question, what kind of world have we built for our children? It's Monday in America. $14.99 at mondayinamerica.com. It's Monday in America. Better to die on your feet than live on your knees.
For some reason, you are still listening to The Left Show. All right, then, here's some more of that, I suppose.
Anyway, Asha Shawarma just 3 days ago announced the Xbox reset that'll see roughly 3,200 of her employees lose their jobs by the end of next year. Reorganization that the remaining developers are reportedly convinced will cause irreparable damage to some of the company's most famous brands. Sharma is going to be one of the 3 leaders heading up the Productivity and Jobs Task Force, which will, quote, assess the economic impact of new general purpose technologies, including artificial intelligence, to inform the Federal Reserve's policy judgments, end quote.
Here's the thing. Our economy since Reagan has been completely devoted to the investor. 100% devoted to the investor. The biggest expense you have in any business is payroll. And when they are highly skilled developers who are developing games that you need, that make you money, or developing improving your system so it can handle the newer games that are higher capacity, that need higher capacity or something different in the software, they're going to be expensive. And when I hear about this level of layoffs and calling it a reset, it's because Xbox's investors aren't making their profits like they want to, and therefore are forcing you to go after your biggest expense, which is your employees. Never mind that Asha Shawarma, I'm sure, is still taking millions of dollars a year in payroll, in CEO pay. And it's like, this, if you want... going back to Jeff's deep dive, if you want to have, if you want this to stop, you've got to force your Democratic candidate to say they will stop it and show you their work that they will.
Yes.
Or you have to say, or I'm going to vote for a third party and pull votes away from you, and I'm going to get everybody I know to pull votes away from you, and it'll suck because it'll put a Republican in office, but. I'm sick of this shit from Democrats because they're rolling over for these people just as much as because they fund their fucking campaigns too. And they're rolling over for them as much as Republicans are. Republicans do it all the time because that's who fucking funds them, are billionaires who want them to invest. And I'm like, this is not, if you want to be part of the revolution, if you want to be part of the resistance, if you want workers to have control again, like they did in the 50s when we had a great economy, this has got to happen. We've got to get all of our Democratic leaders, our Democratic lawmakers, I can't call them leaders. We're the leaders. We're in charge. We got to get our Democratic lawmakers to start pushing for labor reform so that we all are protected, and not just the guys who do vocational labor, but those of us who do programming, who work in IT. We need to have that as well. We need this protection.
And that's the problem is it's like plenty of that'll pop up in the next 4 months.
Yeah, and then
but even though Democrats are in such a painful minority right now, where we can block shit, but we obviously can't get anything passed.
Right, we can't get anything past it.
And as long as we're out there blocking stuff, okay, good. The problem is that it's like when we're in a primary, fight tooth and nail.
Yeah,
fight for those the democratic socialist values. Do it. I'm one. I'm with you. And then when Ben McAdams wins, I'm going to hold my fucking nose and I'm going to vote for him, because as bad as Ben is, he will not be as bad as any fucking Republican that goes in there. Because as we showed with Graham,
at this point, you're not going to get as high of a block of those who would support this kind of economics anymore in Democrats. Most of them have been run off or have retired, like Nancy Pelosi. So we're not getting them anymore. So you get a Ben McAdams in, okay, he's going to be one nay vote when you put in for a certain labor reform, from the Democrats, but he's not going to have that kind of swing,
Yeah, he punted on the minimum wage, and I am almost as mad as I am about McMuffin. But the point I was trying to make was that when we look at guys like Graham Plattner, and the message that the campaign designed for him to deliver, and the authentic way in which he delivered it, I loved all of it. He had a Nazi tattoo. He goes, "Oh, I just thought it was a badass skull. I took it. I shouldn't have, but I did, because I liked what he was saying." And then the second we find out, that there's an allegation, we're done. Fuck off. If he was a Republican, he'd be running for president already.
I think we had to wait for 2 allegations, right? We had one allegation that he denied, and we're like, okay, let's let that play out in the courts and see what happens. But then he got a second allegation. It was like, you're done. You're out. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Trump has to pipe up and say, well, I guess it depends on whether you believe the woman. Why do you have to fucking make this worse every fucking time?
Just can't do anything. Reed Rastner is an openly gay Republican. Seek therapy, Reed. I mean, that's just that fucking half of the sentence. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, self-hate, it's bad for you. It's like eating too much sugar. You're going to get a cavity or diabetes.
That's right.
Anyway, openly gay Republican running for Wyoming's sole House seat is spending the final stretch of the campaign on a project he didn't expect. He's suing members of his own party for defamation. On Friday morning, Rastner will settle one case against an Iowa man who called him a pedophile under several of the campaign's Facebook posts. Rastner is also pursuing another case against the former GOP Wyoming state senator who he alleges led a whisper campaign accusing him of sexual misconduct. "I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life," said Rastner, who apparently...
Bullshit.
Yeah. It just got loud enough for you to pay attention, buddy.
Yeah.
He said, "This isn't the Wyoming I knew or thought I knew. The state needs to come to terms with the hate and the ignorance." You're a Republican, motherfucker. You're a Republican. This is your people. I don't care that you are attracted to men, I don't care that you're gay. I do not care. You are a Republican. You're part of the fucking problem. Reed Rastner. Jesus Christ. Good for you for suing. But like they say, when there's a table of 10 and a Nazi sits down and nobody kicks the Nazis off, it's a table of 11 Nazis. And you have sat at the table with the Nazis, Reed.
Yeah. He's over here saying this isn't the Wyoming I know. He's 42. He came out when he was 20. So he's been out for 22 years. 1998, so before he came out, but when he was still alive to know this shit, is when Matthew Shepard got killed in Laramie, Wyoming for being gay.
Sounds like Wyoming to me.
That's exactly Wyoming. Holy shit, dude.
I can't believe
this isn't the Wyoming I know. Yes, it is. It is exactly the Wyoming you know. Why? How have you escaped it this many years? Maybe because Matthew Shepard shamed them enough to not go hunting for gays anymore.
What's the joke? It's I can't believe this Jaguar tore off my face, said the chairman of the Jaguars Tear Off People's Faces Committee.
Faces Committee, yeah, exactly.
Hunter Biden had a big day last week when he won $1.7 million in punitive damages against that turd burger, that flaming pile of poop on your front step, Patrick
That's
Byrne.
Right.
Patrick Byrne, the one that ended up stooping the Russian spy.
Yeah.
When I believe he was cheating on his wife at the time. But the federal judge...
Utah and Patrick Byrne, too, because he was the former CEO of Overstock, and they started here.
Oh, I should have brought that up, because that's one of the reasons why this one delights me so much, is because
exactly.
I've met Patrick Byrne. He's a piece of shit.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's garbage. But a federal judge said the former Overstock.com CEO knew his claims that Hunter Biden had sought an $800 million bribe from Iran were fabricated.
Mm-hmm.
Or, as people say, a lie. But this is a courthouse news service. So.
Court of law, so, the legal term is fabrication. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. U.S. District Judge Stephen Wilson already had indicated at a hearing in January that Byrne faced punitive damages after failing to defend himself against the claims by Hunter Biden. Byrne had claimed Biden sought the bribe from Iran sometime in 2021. Good. Way to go. And hey, Hunter, I'm enjoying your life on social media right now, but when you get this money, do me a favor, give most of it away. The last thing you need is a relapse, kid.
Mm-hmm.
And you can afford one. You can afford an epic fucking relapse.
You're going to get a one hell of a relapse on this one, Hunter.
So give it to your dad to hold on to for you. Give it to Jill.
Yep.
Let her pay you an allowance.
Mm-hmm.
I'd trust her. I would trust her.
I totally trust her. I mean, Joe gave him a full pardon, so I think he's one of those. He's kind of a what would you call it? He's spoiling his kids kind of dad,
Little helicopter parenting. You know what though?
Yeah.
If they've been talking about
Hunter needs helicoptering
like that for years and years and years, I'd pardon my kids on the way out the door. Fuck, I'd probably do it just 'cause.
I'd do it and call it the Patrick Byrne Memorial Pardon.
Yeah, there you go. So one last piece of news. The Daughters of the American Revolution officially rejected a proposed ban on transgender women from joining the organization just this last week. The long-awaited vote came after years of pressure within the DAR, the nonprofit Historical Preservation Education Society, created in 1890, composed of women with direct ancestry to patriots of the American Revolutionary War, to exclude trans women from the organization's definition of women, which would effectively ban them from its ranks. But they didn't. They rejected it. Holy shit. How fucking awesome is that?
When I consider the only DAR member I know is my mother-in-law, that's impressive to me, because it's usually a bunch of old ladies who did their, you start getting, there's a certain point in your life when you start looking into your ancestry because you want to understand, what your roots are, where you came from, that sort of thing. Usually it's in your 40s, 50s. And so that's usually the people who are joining, and I'm shocked that they rejected it. That's awesome. Because it really just comes down to, can you show genealogy that puts you back to, that gives you an ancestor who fought in the American Revolution, and are you a woman? You're in. Yeah.
Yeah. I dig it. It is when I saw Daughters of the American Revolution as the headline, and then it said, read more. I was like, oh, what have they done? And then
what did they do this time?
Hey,
hey,
right.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's not Daughters of the Confederate Revolution. You know, so good for them. Good for them. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Very proud of them. Let's see. Wonder how many members they'll lose. Probably not as many as they were threatened to lose. You know.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. But that's it, buddy.
Okay.
Everything else I have left seems to be in this folder marked Patreon. And that's where we go every week that we record. We provide you with special content from all the Defend Media shows. That was a good point you made earlier, tomorrow. But yeah, it's special content that you can only get to through the Patreon portal. It's there every week that we record. You get all the shows from The Left Show, the world's greatest comic book podcast, Gen X, I Told You So, if we figure out how we're redoing it. You know what? We could talk about that for 10 seconds. If anybody has any ideas, because we've been trying to get interviews, you know, and the show's just, it's too small to nail who we've been going for. The problem is that there's a severe lack of conflict between myself and Tiffany. You know, when we talk about, we'll go through a list or we'll go through an article and it'll be like, some couples do this. And we're like, not us. And some couples do that. And we're like, we don't do that either. We just kind of hang out and get along. It's pretty fucking awesome. So
I've read through some articles and I'm like, yeah, that's not Michelle and I. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
Weird. Anyway, patreon.com/dfenmedia. In the meantime, I'll thank you all for listening. If you can do me a favor and rate and review the show wherever you pick up your podcasts, I'd really appreciate it. We haven't had any in quite a while, and so it always helps out. Just takes a couple minutes of your time. Shouldn't cost you any money at all. If it does, let me know. I will probably tease you a little. Don't pay to rate and review. Just rate and review where it's free. Anyway, thanks, buddy. I will see you next week.
If you've made it this far, you might as well join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/DFenMedia. This episode and more always available at www.theleftshow.com.